Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank the Minister for International Trade on his work, for his very good work with the people of Ukraine. I'm proud this evening to stand in support of Ukraine. I'm very proud of the position that our government has taken in supporting Ukraine and in the Ukrainian people's desire to pursue freedom and sovereignty and democracy. You know, I come from a riding that's very rich in Ukrainian history. I have many communities that have strong Ukrainian ethnicity and are very closely tied to the Ukrainian people, and many of them have friends and relatives still in the Ukraine. I'm also a grandson of Mennonite immigrants who in the early 1900s fled the Ukraine during a time of civil unrest and found their home here in Canada. I'm ever so grateful that Canada accepted my grandparents on both sides. And so I have a strong attachment to the people of the Ukraine. I spoke with a gentleman this past week who had been in Ukraine the previous week, and upon individuals there learning that he was Canadian, they expressed their sincere appreciation and thankfulness for the support that Canada has given to Ukraine. And in particular, there were three things that they were thankful for, Mr. Chairman. They said for our prayers, they appreciated that. For our support on the international stage. And thirdly, for supplying their troops with flak jackets. And to quote directly what one of the individuals said, they said to this fellow, "We provide our troops with food and clothing to keep them warm and fed, but you Canadians supply them with body armors, which makes sure that our sons and husbands come home at night." Mr. Speaker, the Ukrainian people are very appreciative and thankful for the support that we've shown them so far, and I'm just so proud that our Prime Minister has expressed unequivocal support for the people of Ukraine. And I'm just wondering if the Minister could expand a little bit further on how important it is going to be to provide continued economic support.
The Honourable Minister of International Trade. You have about a minute and 10 seconds.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the member for his comments because he and I share a common heritage. My mother was actually born about 30 miles from the eastern Ukrainian border. So I understand his passion for supporting Ukraine. Economic support is as important as the support we're providing in terms of military assistance, non-lethal, the training that we've recently agreed to undertake in Ukraine. Mr. Speaker, the economic dimension of this relationship between Canada and Ukraine cannot be underestimated. We have somewhere in the order of 1.2 million Canadians of Ukrainian descent, many of whom are business people, and many of them who are prepared to engage economically with Ukraine. When I was there on my 2 trade missions, I was accompanied by quite a number of Canadian companies whose owners did have a Ukrainian heritage, and they were impressing upon us the importance of getting a trade agreement into place, of removing some of the trade barriers, of removing some of the investment barriers and the lack of transparency within the economy. And I am absolutely confident, Mr. Speaker, that if we do this right, Canada can play a major role in allowing Ukraine's economy to recover.